We want privacy. We want privacy.
Can you guys react to South Park's worldwide privacy tour?
It's the worldwide privacy tour.
It was very much on point. The only part in the episode that I didn't quite agree with is at the end, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't seen it, the big revelation in regard to Meghan and Harry, who are the Prince and Princess of Canada, is that Meghan's words are actually just an echo from Harry's mouth, and she looks inside of his mouth and realizes that all of the things she says are just echoes of what he's thinking.
Privacy! We want privacy!
Thanks for having us on the show.
Now, there are rumours they might be suing because they sue everybody over everything normally, especially if it's true, or if people are being intrusive because they want to save it for themselves so they can intrude on their own lives. Rob, do you care about these two?
Well, not really, but I'm married, so I have to pay attention to a little bit. So I read some of the stuff online just to see about it. With something like this, though, it's one of those things where you should just deflate the argument. Okay, it was funny. I made South Park. That's cool. We're doing well financially. Other places. I think if Harry sees this, which he might, if someone sends him a clip, he'll probably.
He'll have seen it all, but he can't. The thing about these two is they can't laugh at themselves.
Let me just tell you this: the greatest thing that could happen to South Park is Meghan Markle suing because she doesn't like her portrayal in a satirical cartoon airing on Comedy Central. It would be a gift from the heavens for Trey Parker and Matt Stone to be sued by Meghan Markle. So I hope she files a lawsuit here.
When your PR tour lands you a little skit, a great skit on South Park, which did the following bit on those two. You can hear their fake voices in this little skit, which I have to show you some of. Watch this.
It has been several months now since our beloved queen has died. The prince and his wife. We want privacy! We want privacy!
Thanks for having us on the show.
They say that all press is good press. Unless, of course, you're Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Once the world's most celebrated royal couple turned Hollywood renegades, their public image has seen more ups and downs than a roller coaster. From glamorous wedding bells at Windsor Castle to a whirlwind escape from royal duties. Their story seemed like a modern fairy tale. But fast forward to today, and what was once a golden narrative has taken a sharp, satirical twist. A skit on South Park, yes, South Park, the legendary satire show that spares no one, recently turned their quest for privacy into a punchline heard around the world. The world tuned in to watch Harry and Meghan, thinly disguised as animated characters, marching across the globe holding signs that scream, "We want privacy!" while doing everything possible to stay in the public eye. It was brutal, it was hilarious, and it was a warning sign for a couple who once seemed untouchable. But how did it all go so wrong?
How dare you, sir! My Instagram-loving wife has always wanted her privacy! And you know what else? To hell with Canada! We are leaving! We'll go find some quiet place where we can be normal people! Come on, wife! We want privacy! We want privacy! We want privacy!
Just a few years ago, Harry and Meghan were media darlings. The golden couple who dared to break away from the dusty traditions of the British monarchy. They had the world's sympathy as they spoke of media harassment, toxic royal expectations, and the need for personal freedom. Their bombshell interview with Oprah was a cultural moment, watched by millions, dissected by millions more. When Harry released his tell-all memoir, Spare, the book flew off the shelves faster than anyone could have imagined. And their Netflix documentary promised to reveal the real story behind the glamour and gossip. They were everywhere. On the covers of magazines, in interviews, even in the classrooms of public opinion. The world couldn't get enough. Until it suddenly could. Because there's a fine line between authenticity and overexposure, and Harry and Meghan seem to have tripped over it. What was once a gripping tale of two people fighting for freedom and truth has begun to feel more like an endless PR campaign. Critics argue that the couple, who fled the UK to escape relentless media attention, have become obsessed with staying in the spotlight. The South Park skit wasn't just a joke. It was a cultural mirror reflecting a growing perception of Harry and Meghan as fame chasers rather than privacy seekers. And it wasn't just the skit. Recent opinion polls show a troubling trend. Harry's approval rating in the United States, which once soared, is now plummeting. Meghan, too, has seen her once glittering image tarnished by accusations of hypocrisy.
And then there's a little signs with them going through all these countries saying privacy, privacy, and everybody just the disdain for them. They've jumped the shark. Garrity, I saw you laughing during the bit. You tell me, is it over for them in terms of their hopes for being the next Barack and Michelle Obama, or political leaders or influencers here in the United States?
But let's be fair. Some of the criticism has been harsh, even cruel. To say they never had a point would be dishonest. The couple has spoken passionately about mental health, the dangers of misinformation, and the need for more compassion in the public sphere. They've made real contributions to charity, used their platform for advocacy, and tried to shine a light on causes that matter. But somehow, their message has been lost in the noise of their relentless media presence. People who once saw them as brave truth-tellers now see them as perpetual victims. Victims of the royal family, victims of the media, and, perhaps most of all, victims of their own hunger for attention. The South Park episode may be a turning point, but it didn't appear out of nowhere. The cracks in Harry and Meghan's public image have been forming for a while. Take Harry's memoir, Spare, for instance. While it was a bestseller, it was also heavily criticized for revealing private family details, often in a way that felt more like settling scores than speaking truths. Readers were treated to intimate, sometimes embarrassing anecdotes that many felt were better left unsaid. And then there was the Netflix documentary, a polished, glossy production that promised to show their side of the story, but often felt like a carefully crafted PR piece, full of glamour shots and emotional sound bites. For a couple that claimed to want a quiet life, they seemed incredibly comfortable in front of the camera. But maybe that's the heart of the issue. Harry and Meghan are caught in a paradox of their own making. They want privacy, but also crave the public's approval. They want to tell their story, but they can't seem to resist telling it again and again. And as public sympathy dwindles, the very thing they fled from, the relentless scrutiny, is following them wherever they go. It's the price of fame, but in their case, it seems to be a price they didn't fully understand. Yet, it would be a mistake to write them off completely. In the age of social media, where opinions shift with the wind and narratives change faster than ever, there's always a chance for a comeback, but it would take a dramatic change in strategy. Less complaining, more genuine action, less PR, more authenticity. In a world that's already flooded with stories, Harry and Meghan need to ask themselves, do they want to be known for their message or for the drama surrounding it? The choice is theirs, but the clock is ticking. And as for South Park, well, it will always be South Park, ruthless, unfiltered, and unforgiving. It turned Harry and Meghan's struggle for privacy into a global punchline, but maybe that's the lesson they needed. Fame is a double-edged sword, and if you spend too much time chasing it, you might just end up on the sharp end. But who knows? Maybe this satirical slap in the face will be their wake-up call, or maybe it's just the latest chapter in a story that's far from over.